Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today I have a very short discussion that was based on a comment from, I think it was my last video when I was talking about the Regulus and just how the weapon is so cool to use. And there's still a lot of, I would say in the community, there's still a lot of conversation on people trying to get in on raids and all of that. And I've introduced a number of clans, a number of, people that are into taking people through raids and all of that. In my case, the LCN clan is the clan that I've been raiding with. I played the Dark Hours raid with them multiple times. And I have some really cool, I would say, guys there that are very, very knowledgeable about the raid and all of that. So you can reach out to them. There'll probably be a Discord link in this video. And the question or the concern came from the perspective of builds. So somebody, messaged me and said, I found a clan to raid with, and, it seems like everybody in the clan wanted for me to run a damage build. And, that kind of build doesn't necessarily keep me alive long enough. So I just felt like, I just wasn't, fitting in, and it wasn't really easy to go with. And for those of you who know, I already made a video in the past few weeks talking about your cookie cutter build. So you might want to check that video out. And I replied and said, one thing about a raid is, yes, in Iron Horse, you kind of need DPS for the most part. It doesn't mean everybody will be running DPS. No, that's not necessarily how it works. But as a new agent coming into the raid, you are subject to what you are recommended to do by the team who already have experience. So the first thing is, when you want to play a mission like this, because of the high level of coordination that is needed, you're going to have to listen and play a role that you're designated or assigned. You don't know the mechanics of the raid. There's so many things that are probably going to be happening that you're not going to be seeing, and all they want you to do is just play a basic role at that time so that you can first get through the raid, and then on your subsequent runs, you're going to be learning what the mechanics are more like as you're progressing through experiencing the content. So when your raid team says, hey, you need to go put on a damage build, and even though it doesn't make you stay alive long enough, because I also can relate to that, you may have to take some steps to actually keep a little bit more survivability in a build like that. If you notice this build, I have Unbreakable on there, but to be very honest, I got to the point where I didn't want to take any chances and be the person always going down, so I used the tardigrade armor. And not only is that serving me, sure, I lose a little bit of DPS when I actually use it, but the entire team is benefiting from it, and it does have armor regen. So it's just a slight modification on the build that I was recommended by my clan members when I first started, and it's still a build that I'm using for the raid. I mean, as I'm getting better pieces, I'm upgrading the build without hesitation. If you guys notice, so that once it's time for raid, I just jump into the raid. And then there are some other really interesting things that you can do. So if you have your Providence pieces, you have your Fox's Prayers knee pad, you have your Contractor's glove, you're in business. There isn't too much that you have to do at that point. And if you farmed long enough in this game to the point where you're talking about playing raids, you more than likely have these pieces or have access to getting better versions of them through optimization. If you have a baker's dozen that you can actually work with very well, that's also another way to up your DPS. But at the end of the day, you are subject to following what your raid team has recommended for you. So that is just one phase of the conversation. Now, the second phase is, it doesn't mean that the entire team is running DPS. All it means is, while playing those roles, there are people that are going to be taking on specific roles within the team. And you basically, until you've gained a lot more experience, it might not be so easy for you to just come out and, I would say start taking on those roles yourself. So within Iron Horse anyways, the way that our clan plays, there's a healer, a dedicated healer who's running the Future Initiative gear set. And then there's also, in many cases, a dedicated tank who may be running the Foundry Bulwark. Now, you can heal and you can run tank without these two gear sets, but that's usually much challenging, because they are actually in their own tier list the best at what they do. And more than likely, the people who have already played the raid already have the Foundry Bulwark optimized builds that include the chest piece and the backpack. So that's something that if you've never played Iron Horse, you don't have. So you would have to pretty much allow for them to play those specific roles, because they already have the pieces and they already have the builds to support the team. And then when it comes to the healing, the healer also has that build that is using Future Initiative. And not only is Future Initiative healing the team, Future Initiative is also buffing the team as well, while also giving them some significant amount of damage, by the way. It's not just a build, paradigm that just is there to heal and buff the team. It really buffs everybody, including the user of Future Initiative. So you would have to run a DPS build in your, in that right, or whatever build they say you're capable of running. That's another thing. There's probably flexibility with some clans that can say, as long as your build shreds, yes, but some clans are like, yo, just get a full red build. This is how we roll. We want you to just follow this pattern. So you just go with the flow. Now, I can understand that survivability aspect. And this is something that I wanted to also highlight before I, basically bounce from this video, is that I can get it. The raid is tuned for 8 people. So if you've never raided before, you'll notice the enemy NPCs, yes, they're not as tanky as they used to be when the raids first came out. I remember I played Dark Hours, pre-level 40, and it's really tuned for a lot of damage you're going to be doing on, enemy NPCs. So what can you really do to actually, stay alive longer? I've shown you on the gear part. Let's look at weapons. Now, the Scorpio is a very solid exotic weapon that really does a very good job. When you hit an enemy NPC, there is a lag time for that enemy NPC to basically come at you. And when I say come at you, I'm talking there's just a little bit of, a few seconds that they're stunned. And the stun is a very important aspect of the entire mechanics of a build using that weapon. So yes, like I showed you that cookie cutter red build just now, and I said, you could just take it, take it with the Scorpio, use a nice backpack. You could just get a backpack that is under the Badger Tough, brand set and paradigm here, and you can use like opportunistic. So not only are you going to be hitting the enemy NPC and stunning them, you're going to be hitting them and actually allowing for them to take 10% more damage, from all sources for about 5 seconds. So once you hit them, your damage is also buffed. They're stunned, and now you can melt them. And if you hit them and somebody else on the team hits them as well, now you've given your team an entire, buff as well. So this is something that I would recommend that, everybody takes. You see, this guy is stunned. I mean, yeah, whatever's shooting me is probably like some machine or some idiot. If you think about all of the above, if you put it all together, they want to kill me. Wow, they melted me. Jeez. If you think about all of the above, it comes, down full circle. Just pay attention to what your team is running. Listen to your raid, leaders, in quote, people who are well-versed on the raid, and just go with the flow. Some raids, I've seen, Kamikaze Von Doom. I've seen some builds from GC Rock and all the others, and they recommend those builds because they fit and suit specific aspects of the raid missions more efficiently. So if they show you different builds for different bosses, then those builds really do suit those they really suit those phases of the raid. But again, a cookie cutter build reduces the complexity because you are going to be paying attention more to the mechanics rather than anything else, if you guys get what I mean. So raid builds are a very complex and diverse topic. There are builds that, like in Iron Horse, the first boss, there's a build that you actually use the Regulus just to basically, make the boss run very easy. I mean, I think you just basically light up one of the bad guys with a headshot. Make sure that your Dodge City holster is charged, and then once it takes out that guy with the headshot, everybody else is toast. That's pretty much how that one just works. So when you think and consider that, then you understand, okay, it is a very specialized mission structure, and I need to pretty much follow up with everything that's, being recommended to me. Over time, as you start getting more flexibility, you can run a skill build, you can run whatever. It doesn't mean that you're locked into that build paradigm. It just means for the learning phase, you've got to be the student and you've got to listen. So, comment section, let me hear your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, I'll try to leave a link for the LCN Clans Discord so that you can go in there, talk to people, and when there's a raid going on, you will get an invite. That's basically right now the end game goal of the clan is just to continue to take more people through the raids, and I guarantee you there are money clans around even on Xbox and PC that will be happy to do the same as well. If you know of any clans, leave them in the comment section, please, so that others may benefit from this. Once again, talk to you guys in a bit. Peace out.